wide-brimmed straw hat that threatened to fly away with every gust of wind. Shauna was already scouting the perfect location near the lifeguard tower. We need to be visible, but not crowded. And Jack, don't drop the egg salad. It's a Wood family recipe. Setting up was a tactical nightmare. Every time Jack managed to jam an umbrella into the sand, the coastal breeze would pluck it out like a toothpick. On his third attempt, the umbrella went airborne, soaring over a group of stunned tourists before landing squarely in a businessman's sandcastle. My apologies, Jack shouted, chasing after it. It's an experimental kite. By midday, the leisure had turned into a survival exercise. The cooler leaked, soaking the sandwiches in lukewarm ham water. Chrissy had fallen asleep and was currently floating away on her flamingo, drifting slowly toward Hawaii. Jack, get the flamingo, Shauna yelled, pointing toward the surf. Jack dove into the waves, swimming frantically. He managed to grab the plastic neck of the bird just as a large swell hit. He returned to shore bedraggled, seaweed clinging to his hair like a tragic crown. Did I win the race? Chrissy asked, waking up with a blink. You want a trip back to the apartment? Jack groaned, wringing out his shirt. I think the pulse of the city is giving me a migraine. Chapter 13, The Mystery of the Stuffed Bird. A few days later, a massive box appeared on their doorstep with no return address. Inside was a 4-foot-tall stuffed penguin wearing a formal tuxedo and a monocle. It's a sign, Chrissy whispered, poking the bird's beak. I think I have a secret admirer from the Arctic, or a debt collector with a very strange sense of humor, Jack suggested, eyeing the bird suspiciously. Shauna scrutinized the tag. It just says to the most beautiful girl in 201. That could be any of us. Or me. Jack smirked. Maybe Larry is finally showing his appreciation for my plumbing model career. The mystery was solved an hour later when Stanley Roper knocked on the door, looking uncharacteristically sheepish. He peeked inside, his eyes landing on the penguin. Oh, good. The bird landed. Stanley grunted. Ellen's birthday is next week, and she's been dropping hints about wanting something elegant. I didn't want her to find it in our place. I figured you kids wouldn't mind harboring a fugitive penguin. For a few days. Elegant. Stanley? Jack asked, lifting the penguin's wing. It looks like it's about to ask me for a martini. It's classier than that dog you tried to hide, Roper retorted, pointing a finger. And it doesn't bark. Keep it out of sight, or I'll charge you rent for an extra tenant. For the next 3 days, the penguin became a silent fourth roommate. They named him Pierre. He stood in the corner of the living room, a dapper witness to their morning arguments and midnight snacks. You know, Jonna admitted on the final night, I'm going to miss him. He's the only one in this house who doesn't complain about my cooking. Chapter 14, The Yoga Craze. Thursdays in Santa Monica were now officially dedicated to expanding the mind-body connection, or as Jack called it, the Great Leg Cramping Ceremony. Larry had convinced Jack that the local yoga class at the community center was a gold mine for meeting the kind of enlightened, flexible women Jack had only seen in magazines. It's not just stretching, Jack. It's spiritual alignment, Larry said, adjusting his headband, which was a bit too tight for his circulation. Plus, the ratio is 6-to-1. You do the math. Jack, clad in a pair of gym shorts that were dangerously short even for the 70s, found himself in a room filled with the scent of incense and the sound of a sitar tape playing at a barely audible volume. The instructor was a man named Guru Steve, who looked remarkably like a surf shop owner who had recently discovered herbal tea. Find your inner lotus, Steve whispered, moving with the grace of a man who had never known a desk job. Jack tried. He really did. But every time he reached for his toes, his hamstrings shrieked in protest. To make matters worse, his inner lotus seemed to be permanently stuck in a rigid plank. You are very linear, a woman next to him whispered. She was wearing a leotard that sparkled under the fluorescent lights. I'm a minimalist, Jack wheezed, his face a shade of red that matched the pimento peppers in his mousse. I believe in the beauty of the straight line. The class took a turn when Guru Steve announced the pose of the flying crow. Jack attempted the balance.